All right, let's do this. How are you, what the fuckers, what the fuck buddies, what the fucknicks, what's happening? I'm Marc Maron. This is my podcast. How are you doing? How can I help? What can I do to what do you need? Are you okay? Oh my God. What a time we're living in. What a time we are living in. It makes me want to, I think, sometimes there was a time where poetry had a tremendous impact. And I guess there's an argument to be made that a lot of things are poetry, music, some writing, ad copy. But there was a time, I think, and there probably are still poets that do this, where you're trying to crunch the big equations, the existential, the philosophical, the mystical, the personal. There was a time where poetry was sort of the mathematics of eternity and trying to wrap your brain around it. And sometimes I think, maybe that's what we need is a little poetry just to, frame things in a way we can understand. So now I will read to you The Second Coming by William Butler Yeats. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming. Hardly are those words out when a vast image of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight somewhere in the sands of the desert, a shape with a lion body and the head of a man, a gaze blank and pitiless as the sun is moving its slow thighs, while all about it real shadows of the indignant desert birds. The darkness drops again, but now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle, and what rough beast, its hour come round at last, slouches towards Bethlehem to be born. Yeah, that's a nice, I hope you're having coffee. I think that's a nice way to start the day. I do want to say this in terms of the center not holding, is that violence, never the answer. Violence begets violence. And, man, just untethered times. And, I hope you're doing okay. Today, I talked to my friend Tom Scharpling. He's the host of The Best Show and someone who's deeply connected to the history of this show. He's been on 8 times before, and we did 6 separate bonus episodes with him called The Marc and Tom Show. He's celebrating the 25th anniversary of doing The Best Show, and he'll be on the road doing some live shows to commemorate the milestone. Always good to talk to Tom. Good friends. I've had some weird revelations and experiences about the past and about friendship lately. I'll try to get into it. Maybe I'll get into it. But I do want to say this. I want to thank a couple of people. Actually, I want to thank Dr. Bronner's. Dr. Bronner's soap, all-in-one soap. Because I had talked to the Bronner that's in charge now, the grandson, and I love the company. And this isn't a paid plug. And I have a lot of their soap, and they've always been supportive of the show. And I think they're a very decent and well-sourced company that are always trying to be proactive and progressive and do the right thing. And I was reminded of this because I have been using that soap since I was in college. And I realized, I reached out to the guy over there who's in charge of their kind of public relations. And I just wanted to thank him because I realized maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, if not more, they sent me a big box of those soaps. And I've been using them, like I haven't had to buy soap. And I've been using Bronner's, I feel like, my whole life. And it just, towards the end of the show here, I just wanted to thank them for keeping me clean. The documentary about me, Are We Good, opens on October 3rd in New York and Los Angeles with special screenings around the country on October 5th and October 8th. Go to arewegoodmarin.com to see where it's playing and get tickets. And hopefully, look, if people go, it'll be in more theaters. And you can still get in on the Kickstarter presale for our graphic novel, WTF is a Podcast, written and illustrated by Box Brown. You can go to z2comics.com/WTF for that. And look, I've been a little aggravated. I am starting to realize, as I've said before, that there's something at the core of me, or maybe I didn't tell you this. I think I actually said it at a meeting. I've been going back to the secret meetings a bit, just to make sure I stay in dialogue with, what is at my core now that I have time to sit with it. And a couple of things have happened, and some of it you'll hear in this conversation with Tom in terms of how far back we go and his experience meeting me and his experience, watching me, which we've talked about before. But I realize that, when you're untethered, intense, insecure, if you have a sort of wobbly sense of self or self-loathing, there's a profound selfishness to it. It's not entitlement, but because you're so insulated in your own thoughts about who you are and what you're going through, it's rare to really understand or hear or engage with other people's perception of you, because what you're thinking about yourself, if you're insecure, resentful, jealous, self-pitying, what you're just trying to get by, but you're full of this horrendous negative self-talk and feelings about who you are. And that becomes sort of the external personality, is you trying to manage those feelings within yourself to engage with the world. But there is this thing happening now, again, with some of the time I'm having and the big transition I'm in and the age I'm at, where it's kind of like, wow, this is still fucking here? This core part of me is still fucking here. It's crazy. And I had a conversation with somebody from my past that really kind of shed light on something that I don't know. I just didn't realize it. I had lunch with an old friend of mine, a buddy of mine from college. We were pretty close. We were very close. We were kind of best friends for a few years. And he was just sort of reflecting on his life and reflecting on whatever that time was, back in the day, and his sense of who I was, how he felt about who I was completely fucking surprising to me. And I realized, I don't know, I had a couple of realizations, mostly that, how in my own fucking head am I at all times? But again, I was 20, 22, 19, and I was scrambling. All I was doing was trying to figure out who the fuck I was. I was trying to, be unique or different. I was trying to wrap my brain around, art and film and poetry and writing. And I was trying to sort of dress in a way that I thought kind of had something unique about it, stuff you do in your 20s. But I was at the core, totally insecure and not confident in a lot of ways. But I was, persistent in this quest to find myself, not find God, not find some spiritual answer, but just to, fill my head with stuff to make me smarter and understand things and to express myself and just to figure out, who the fuck am I? Who the fuck am I? And now at this age, at the core, I realize I'm this aggravated, still sort of resentful, kind of insecure guy that somehow, despite all that, pulled enough together. And I'm not saying that this is an unusual disposition for a creative person to have, But my perception of him was back then was that this guy's got his shit together. He knows how to move through the world. He gets things done. He's a creative guy. He writes. We both like film. But I thought he, totally had it together and knew where he was going and what he wanted to do and where he was, what the plan was and what he was interested in. Me, I was just like all over the fucking place trying to build a me. So we're talking, and he says, look, man, I thought you were cool, that, you were creative, that you dressed cool, that you liked all the right music. And I just felt kind of not intimidated by that, but I was sort of in awe of you. This is this guy for my entire life. I was, in my mind, kind of competing with and desperately trying to be like. And after 40 years, he tells me that his sense of me was something completely different than what I thought. And I was also a draining fucking guy. And I imagine I still am on some level. I mean, I'm one of these people. When I walked into a friend, you had to be all in. You were my only friend. I was demanding. I was needy. I was competitive. But, if we were friends, you were it. I know all this stuff about myself deep down, and I've learned how to manage it. But just the idea that someone's perception of me was so different than what I was experiencing, even back then, was kind of devastating and uplifting at the same time. Because you just realize if you are, and look, I speak my mind a lot. I do on stage, here, whatever. I try a lot of things. And that quest for landing in myself or finding myself is pretty close to done, thank God, at almost 62 years old. But I do realize that there is no way to know unless somebody tells you, and I'm talking about people who are close to you or respect you and obviously love you, how you are in their eyes, unless they tell you. Look, I get a lot of shit from people sometimes. If I say things online or wherever, I get good shit from people who watch my work and they understand that. But the people that are close to you have an entire different you in your head than you have in yours. And I guess what bridges that gap is trust. Once you reveal as much as yourself as possible or you feel comfortable with and sort of share that vulnerability. But you still just don't really, you're unable to see yourself as others see you in your life. And because my sense of myself or my perception of myself is so compromised by my motor brain and my fear and my insecurity, I assume that people think the same way about me, and it keeps getting proven wrong. And it's good because I might start believing it. Anyway, I'm sorry. I just guess I had to dump, as they say in the recovery racket. Today's episode is sponsored by Squarespace. We have a website that's powered by Squarespace, which has made life easier for us since we started using it more than a decade ago. With Squarespace's collection of cutting-edge design tools, anyone can build an online presence that perfectly fits their brand or their business. Squarespace gives you everything you need to offer services on your site and get paid. Plus, streamline your workflow with built-in appointment scheduling and email marketing tools. And with Squarespace's Blueprint AI feature, you get a website builder that helps you create a fully customized site within minutes. Choose whatever features you want to get the most out of your site, just like we do with WTFpod.com. Check out squarespace.com/WTF for a free trial, and then use offer code WTF to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/WTF, offer code WTF. All right, so look, Tom Scharpling is here. He'll be doing live stage shows with Jon Wurster to celebrate 25 years of The Best Show. You can see these anniversary shows in Brooklyn, Philly, Los Angeles, and Chicago throughout October. Go to thebestshow.net to find out more. And this is me talking to my dear friend, Tom Scharpling. I I had no idea that, I had sort of landed a bomb because I just don't see it. Like, I thought, like, I'm barely getting any pushback at all. This is amazing. It's because my algorithm is designed for my brain. And I saw, Hinchcliffe made some comment. Yeah, and it's weird about the pushback from those. It doesn't matter. But, like, what bothers me is that he was lying.
Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
It's just like he was doing that blustery Howard Stern shit.
I did kill Tony once because he wouldn't stop pestering me, and it was when it was in the belly room at the Comedy Store, and I didn't like it then.
Yeah, it was not like
I'm a regular guest.
Yeah,
and then he insinuated that when he's in town, I avoid the Comedy Store. Like, why would I do that?
Yeah,
for that guy?
Yeah,
why would I avoid that guy?
No, that's the way it was positioned. Where it was, first of all, he used the phrase comedy content. That he
right. These guys show up every 2 years, doing real specials.
He said they come out of their hole or whatever, like, and they have an hour-long special,
that they worked on for a long time. I'm churning out garbage every day.
Yeah, I'm kidding. But just the idea, like, we do comedy content. It's like, why would you refer to what you make as content? Like, content. That's like being advertising.
It's totally that. I mean, I've been talking about that a bit on stage about the idea of when we were younger, and certainly you, because in the world of music, it's like sellout, that meant something, and it was bad.
Yeah, it actually was it was a label that you could not get off.
Yeah, and you certainly didn't want it on you.
No, I mean, I remember like the Del Fuegos got drilled for a beer commercial.
It's a Miller commercial.
Can you imagine now?
They still talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not actively, but I talked to both of the Fuegos. Yeah. I talked to both of the Zanes
40
brothers.
years ago.
But it was, I was in Boston when that happened. And it was like, what? And then all of a sudden, I remember even when you started to hear like classic hits on commercials by bands you respected, it's like, how much fucking money could they need?
I know.
What kind of and then all of a sudden it just morphed into that's the goal is selling.
It's only shifted. It really is strange when you think of like there used to be this phenomenon where Arnold Schwarzenegger and Brad Pitt don't do commercials in America. They do them in Japan. Like Japan, they'll do a commercial for a soda or something because it never comes over here. It's like, imagine that concept now. It's just like the Super Bowl is nothing but a parade of the most famous celebrities shilling for something.
Totally. And it just, and also to speak to content is that the goal is to create a brand that is you.
Yeah.
You are the brand, and then other brands will, you'll run other brands through you.
Yes.
And it's synergy because you've sacrificed any sense of, humanity or autonomy to be this brand. It's like when people started saying things like, well, that's on brand. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? I wish I knew my brand. People were trying to put me in a box for decades. Yeah. And now I've sort of landed on something, but I'd never see it as a brand.
Yeah. I think you were told what your brand was.
For a while.
You didn't design it.
No, and it never fit.
Yeah.
But also, like, I remember when I started this show, the idea of doing advertising was I thought it would ruin it.
Yeah.
Like when we started WTF, I'm like, well, there's no way to make money. And what do we got to fucking advertise for? We're doing a real thing here.
Yeah.
We don't need ads. And then when we started getting the sex toy ads, we're like, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then the justcoffee.coop, I just shit my pants. We own that.
Yeah.
But that's the limit, man.
Yeah.
And then Audible creeped in. I'm like, no.
That sometimes, like, I really, my podcast consumption is almost zero.
I never listen to any of them.
I don't. It's hard enough for me to hear the one I do when I do it.
Do you listen to yours? Why? Do you edit it?
No, I mean when I do it. I just even being there for it. I almost wish I could AI my way out of doing my own show.
I give it a year.
I know. I'll just be like.
But I mean, like when you started. Like on the radio. So none of us knew this would ever happen.
Oh my God.
There was no sense of any of that happening. And there was a freedom that you found. And when you had to adapt, I mean, what were the first things that were problematic for you, when you realized, like, well, radio's not good anymore?
I was always, me being on a non-commercial station.
Yeah.
It was just understood that the pact was, you will never make a nickel doing this because you're here to raise money to keep the station operating.
Right.
So I did this show, and it was called The Best Show on WFMU, which was, that was me taunting the other DJs on the station because I was so unpopular there. It was like, and then this like jerk just calls his show The Best Show on W. Like, who are you?
Right.
But I did it. And then, but it's almost like you start the discussion then when you do a thing like that. When you say, well, it's the best show on W, people would be like, well, it's not the best show on WFMU. It's great. But other people, I think it is the best show. But if I call it, like, if you do, it's like the way the Clash were just like the only band that matters. And now people are like, well, they're not the only band that matters. Like, you're actually discussing them at the highest possible level because you framed where the discussion is going to take place.
Yeah.
But I was doing that. The show grew in like the first 2 years. Nobody cared. Everybody, the listeners would just like play records, stop talking.
Right.
But then it just found its audience. And it popped once podcasting in 2005 is when it just exponentially found people. But and the show grew and grew and grew. It was making
2005?
2005 is when we started podcasting. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because so you were doing that with the first group, because we started in 2009, so there was nobody podcasting.
No, it was look, for that up until like 2010, it was still just like this weird waste. It's like the kind of thing where you drop a bag of flour from a plane to say this is my property now. Like when they're claiming stuff in Florida.
But it was for the fans. Like, you knew enough to make it available in a way that wasn't beholden to a time slot.
That's exactly it. It suddenly freed the thing up to be.
Because Brendan was listening forever. And, when I finally started, hearing about you from Brendan, I just thought, like, well, I'm excluded from whatever this world is. This is like
story of my life. I'm either the one being excluded or the one excluding, or somebody thinking I'm excluding them, or I'm actually getting excluded.
Well, I didn't know that, like, I had built this, and I talked to you about this before, but I built this idea of you, the mythic Scharpling, who had his own little alt comedy universe, and I was not of that ilk. And but Brendan been listening to it forever, and he always says that, you provided him a template through which to understand how podcasting could free us. My goal was, I found my people. Yeah.
And
you're doing the 10,000 people.
I'm just going to go.
Rule.
Yeah, I'm just going to do. I didn't even know what the numbers were. The only way I could gauge listeners or anything like that was through the fundraising.
Right.
And I could just see how the show was growing every year. When we did the station fundraising things every March, I could just see, we made 30,000 more than we did last year. So it just like, I could see the growth with that.
Right.
I just was like, these people, I have people, they seem to like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it honestly boiled down to like, I would think of like 3 people doing the show. Like if I can make these 3 friends of mine laugh, I just have to assume the rest of it's going to take care of itself.
Yeah.
It did. But it was this thing where I was just like, I'm putting everything into this show that didn't even have the possibility of making money, but there was such a purity to it then.
That's how I felt when I started. Yeah,
because it was like, I'm truly doing this for like the love of the game, the way people talk about it.
But also, you could do it. You dictate the whole thing.
Yeah.
And there's nobody, there's no guy going, hey, we think you should turn down the.
That's exactly it.
And
too.
like it's all on you, and you're all in. Because I remember at the beginning in the garage, like in 2009, it was like we didn't know what we were doing, but we knew that like it was something.
Yeah.
And that no one was telling us what to do. But I just think it's very funny that, because I've been thinking about that a lot lately, where it was really a moral crisis for me as to whether we do ads. And then it was like. Then it became, for me, it was sort of like, do we need to talk to actors?
I remember it felt seismic when you would expand the range of who was a guest on your show. It actually felt like, oh, that's a shift. I remember when you first started having musicians on.
Yeah.
And it was suddenly like, who was like Wayne Coyne would have been one of the first ones, right?
Maybe. I remember like, because you've been a listener and you've been supportive and you've been on the show fucking 8 times and we did like 6 Marc and Tom shows. We don't even know what we talked about anymore. There is an area that I want to talk to you about that, is not historical, but nonetheless, you've been part of the show since the beginning as a listener and as a guest. And I don't know, was it Wayne? I feel like I got very, like, for me, because like I always thought you were like the cool guy and that, that your world was cool. Because like for me, I'm like, always, late to the party with everything. Like I started listening to Black Sabbath in my 40s. So like, I knew they existed.
Yeah.
But it was, I just assumed it wasn't for me. So it's like there are certain elements of me that are stunted. But I just remember, like, when I had to have Ty Segall on, like, I remember, like, just like, I wonder if I can get Michael Cronin.
Yeah. Do you think you can get him over here? That's like, well, the thing is, even like you have Michael Cronin, you have Ty Segall, you have John Dwyer, all these, like, you realize they're here. You realize almost everybody at the Strata, they're just hanging out.
I know.
It's just like, hey, what are you doing on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Like,
they're down the street.
I'm not doing anything.
Segall used to work at a fucking record store once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought these were mythic people.
Yeah.
With big things.
But it even goes way up the life. Like there's like famous people. It's still Wednesday for them, and if they don't have anything to do,
they're not on set. They're just sitting around making their assistant miserable. But why didn't you get the good lettuce? But yeah, but you're right. When I started talking to musicians, that was a big deal, and then we were recording them, in our very raw way.
Yeah.
But really, I didn't know how to evolve the show, and it was all very nerve-wracking, because I'm like, by and large, I assume that actors, not great interviews. And then eventually it's like, well, dude, you're going to have to talk to some of these people. And then like you figure out a way to do it.
Sure. Did you feel like at a point, because the thing just grew and the access to people saying yes it became a lot easier as like, it's a kind of just like,
sure.
It kind of is like a snowball going down the hill. And suddenly it's like at its worst, were you worried that it's like, I'm just like Byron Allen here on like one of the many stops on the tour?
Always my worry.
Yeah.
To the point where I don't know if people even, would remember me. Like I still have that. Like because I know from doing these things, when I see people who've been on the show, I'm like, they probably, they were probably just moving through stuff. But also from the beginning, there was that horrendous anger that like, I didn't set out to be a fucking talk show host.
Yeah.
And then my insistence on doing 15 minutes of loose rambling was just to make sure that I planted my little flag.
Yeah, and not just like, hey, I'm like...
Yeah, today on the show I'm talking to... And then all those emails of people are sort of like, let the guest talk. I'm like, no, I will not. I will interrupt freely.
Absolutely. Because it's not an interview. It's a conversation. It's the most basic... The most basic delineation is that you do conversations here. You don't do interviews.
Yeah, and I grew to accept all that. Now who gives a fuck?
Well, because the thing that happened is suddenly every one of those people was just like, well, I think I'll do a show now.
But like going back to like, okay, so when you did, because I want to talk about the evolution of this thing that we have become involved with. So you started doing the podcast, and then, but it was just a radio show and the podcast until you moved, really, right? Or you started?
Yeah, it was pretty much. It was the show was live on Tuesdays, and then
streaming.
It would stream. You could listen to it on the terrestrial radio. No video, and then we would just edit out the music and put it up as a podcast the next day, because music's this,
you got to pay for it.
You got to pay, and licensing. I'm not going to do that, so it was just available in a few different ways. You could listen live, you could listen on your computer, you could download it as a podcast, and it was that way for a very long time.
Well, you started like 25 years ago, right?
Yeah, this is the 25th anniversary of me doing the best show.
Talking.
It's Mark,
Talking.
Sometimes I think about if somebody had sat me down and said, put a contract in front of me, this is a 25-year contract. You're going to do one of these every week for 25 years.
Yeah.
And for the first 15, it's going to be for free.
Yeah.
I would just be like, this is the worst deal I've ever heard in my life. So the first 2/3 of it I'm doing for free, and it's just like, but it was 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, we're in
How
it.
am I this far in this? And it's just, it has become, I am like one and the same with the show now. The show just, there's a point, like the show is just happening in my head.
Yeah.
And then just once a week I go and I kind of just say it to people.
You just you have the conversation going,
Yeah, and it's like,
then
okay,
you sit in the mic, and that's the part of the conversation
That's
that
exactly
comes
for,
out.
For 3 hours, it's like, all right, let's get all this out, because that's what I do with this information. I say it at the end of it's ready to say, and then I just drive home, and the process has already begun
again.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know that. Like, I find that for me, because it's all self-generated, but it's me in my little spiral of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I don't add things in, like, you seem to be a better consumer than me, and you're reflecting, you have things that you're looking outside of yourself at and passing judgment on. I don't seem to be in any sort of consistent loop of putting new stuff into my head. So it's just me kind of like when I look at all the last 3 specials, I'm like, all right, well, I've done 3 specials, and I think I've evolved the ideas that are always ruminating in my head as far as they can go. So I don't know if you have the experience where I get on these mics sometimes, and there's part of me that's sort of like, I got nothing to say at all. Mm-hmm. And then I'll have to dig down and find it. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, I got to get worked up about something. Mm-hmm. But then when I get done with that kind of stuff, I start to realize, like, I don't know if you're really that worked up about that, you know. And, you know, maybe you don't have to.
Just like Michael Jordan would do this thing because he was like the most competitive human ever.
Yeah.
He would. And an NBA season, the regular season is 82 games. Yeah. That's a long time to get up for every game. So he would manufacture slights and insults. If somebody said anything, he would just be like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna fucking torch you tonight."
Yeah.
Like, and they're just like, "No, I didn't. It was not." I didn't insult you. Like, he's just like, and he would destroy these teams because he'd be like, "You think I'm sucking? I never said you suck." And just like he would just, but he had to like play these games with his head
to keep himself,
get up for every game. Otherwise, the motivation is what he needed. So he had to literally create false fights.
Yeah. Yeah. But for me, the problem is that I'm creating false fights with myself.
Well,
like there's a concept like I'm just literally like, you fuck. How do you live with your stuff? Piece of garbage.
When you talk like that, it's like, I think on my show like a month or so ago, I was trying to ask the audience, like, what are the things when you talk to yourself? Like, what do you say? And people, because like the things I say to myself is just like, oh, what are we going to do? Like every day, it's like, what are we going to do?
What am I going to say to this guy?
I was just like, but I'm talking to myself. I'm like, you dumb bitch. What are you going to do today? And I'm like, this is how I talk to myself. Like, but I'm just, and nobody had like, people are like, I don't talk that way to I thought it was like, well, everybody talks to themselves that way. And it's like, they don't. They really don't. I started to realize I'm alone with a lot of the like.
Well, we're inner Michael Jordaning ourselves.
Yeah, we're ramping up.
Yeah, we're ramping up.
Yeah, and then I'm like, you fucks, I'm going to show you all. I was like, who am I arguing with? I'm going to show you all? What am I, like, what is it? It's like I'm
you think I'm going to do that?
Yeah.
You think I'm going to do that?
Yeah.
Well, but I don't know if I feel that with the way you talk, but that's the inner monologue.
It gets me morning, gets me going.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was half of my incentive was, the arc of realizing that whatever beefs I thought I had with people were totally in my head. That was a long and hard lesson to learn.
Yeah.
So
ironically now though, they're not in your head.
That's the big fear of not having Brendan to stop me from saying shit.
Yeah.
Like, he'll just take shit out. And now, like, I don't know. I think if it were earlier in the podcast, me running around talking, I just think Brendan's like, oh my God, what is he? He can't be allowed to just go out there and talk freely on other shows. It's going to start trouble.
No, I can just say, watching you on this last run here has been, it's like, I've been like ecstatic with it. It's been like, just like
Luna Mark is back.
I'm just like Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel. It's like, all right, who's next? He's gonna go. Where's he going? Okay, you got Hinchcliffe. He's getting him. Bill Maher. You got Bill Maher now. Like, I'm just like, this is like, it's like, yeah, he's getting them all. He's getting them all.
The checklist.
It's like he's clearing the decks on this thing on the way out to where it's like, I said everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I needed to say goodbye.
Yeah,
it feels like you're building through just like, I've established I hate you. I don't respect you. You were never funny.
And this is the best special I've ever done, and it's all in there.
Yeah, and it's just like, see you when I see you.
That sort of seems to be what's happening.
Yeah, and I think it's great because when did it feel like you needed to address these things so directly?
I think because of the special, and I knew this. That and I said this about the last one, and maybe even the last two, but the last three specials, I'm like, this is the best work I'm going to do. And in this one, I was relaxed, I was focused, I was able to articulate my politics with also, taking to task, like-minded people, but once I was able to sort of make the connection that this idea of anti-wokeness, which was the pet peeve of the comedy community, once, that became the umbrella through which the administration was going to create policy to totally undermine democracy. I'm like, they're part of it.
Yeah.
And they can't be separated from it. And whether they know, and I knew it was coming.
Sure.
It seemed to me that I could speak for my community, about my community, and about politics simultaneously. But also I think what bothered me the most was that with this hijacking of pop culture and the hijacking of cultural entertainment in general that's gone on with the sort of tribalization and the push from right-wing propagandists and the Austin group, is that and Rogan did this years ago, that, he put himself in the place to sort of be the guy who judges what is good comedy and what isn't.
Yeah.
That guy.
He's the gatekeeper.
That guy.
Yeah.
Well, he's a gatekeeper, but he wasn't then.
Well, no, he was like a
comedy cop.
He was a comedy cop. He was like Serpico, and he's like he's busting this one and he's busting that one, like going up on stage with Mencia.
Well, canceling Mencia, yeah. But sure, there was inter-comic problems around stealing,
Yeah.
But once, because of the army that he established, that were not essentially comedy fans, who they were feeding this idea of what real comedy is.
Well, they're MMA fans.
Right. But it's not, they do not deserve the right to dictate what comedy is. And because of the way culture works now and media and bubbles of media, I felt that, there was a whole bunch of us, who were not being represented, real comics who do interesting stuff that aren't just looking to, charge up a bunch of morons.
Yeah.
And it's always been that way. Like, I got an email the other day, from somebody, who said, like, I was wrong about Hinchcliffe. He gives, I saw a guy on there who had, has very autistic or something, on the Kill Tony show, and he went back at Donnell and, he won, and, those guys don't get, their shot in elitist show business. So, Tony's providing this stage for these people that wouldn't necessarily get their shot. It's like, first of all, that's not true. Comedy, if anything, there was always people that, I remember, people in wheelchairs, people with one arm, people
like one of the earliest memories is like Jerry Jewell doing stand up and being like, oh, she's doing stand up.
Comedy was always very forgiving, but that just speaks to the fact that, mainstream show business has kind of collapsed. But to answer your question, I realized that with the special, because I was more grounded and made a lot of decisions in that special that were very deliberate and studied and took me a long time to sort of balance that, like this, I'm saying my piece here clearly.
Yeah.
In terms of
it was not blind items. It was not, you're not being cute and dancing around. And that's what made it work for me, at least, is just that it was like, oh, no, you're like, sink or swim, you're just going to say it.
Yeah.
And just, you'll accept. Unlike a lot of these comedians, they don't want to, they think the idea of somebody not liking what they do is canceling and having a problem. It's like, no, you have an opinion, so I can have an opinion. Like, we all have opinions. But the idea that, like, you weren't ducking it or trying to have it both ways with it.
Right.
It's just like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but you're going to say it out loud.
Yeah, because it's like, it just, I've been saying it here for a long time. And I didn't, honestly, when I did those other shows, when I did, Soder, and I did Bobby and Andrew, and then Andrew's show, and then, Howie's or whatever, and Ryan Sickler's or whatever, I just wanted to do a comedy podcast to get my special out there.
Yeah.
But this happens every time after a special. I can't see my way through yet to what would actually become another hour, or like the idea of freeing me up from the podcast and also having the special done and having this time. I would like to see where my creativity can go, untethered to me, which is why I'm going to focus on getting the movie made from Sam's book and try other stuff. I'm a comic by nature and by profession, but there is a part of me that feels like I said it.
Yeah. Well, you're a jealous comic. Because you're a complete failure. So of course you're looking up at all these great men who've accomplished all these things, and you've just been in the shadows. No one's wanted anything you've ever done.
That's the point of view of the other side. Yeah, I just keep.
That's the best part of that. We've talked about Elephant Graveyard off mic. Like, I've watched it as if I'm watching a movie. I'm just like, I'm gonna watch that movie again.
Yeah, again.
Yeah. And
Suey eyes.
The Suey eyes was just like, rest in peace. But when he pointed out their defense is always, we're just jealous.
Oh, you're just jealous of what?
It's like
this assumption that we're not making a living or something.
No, all I ever wanted, my goal in this was to make things and participate in things that I would want to see or hear. And if I can pay my bills and actually call this my job, it's like that was all I ever wanted. I never wanted anything more than that, and I've got that.
Yeah, I don't even know what to do. I do fine. I do great, but I don't I don't think in terms of finally I can buy the what.
Yeah, it's like I don't care
what. I buy a belt and I'm like, this is nice. But
it's like man, these guys with the watches. That's the one that's the thing I can't wrap my head around.
I got talked into this one by Dean, of course. This is a Speedmaster, and it's fine, but I was just wearing, Seikos and stuff. What do I care? But it's a nice watch, but you got to wind it.
But when they're just like,
oh, yeah, this is the whole thing. This is all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also think there's a sense that balance has to be we got to try to regain balance. Because we're in a world of shut the fuck up. And, it's like comedy is a very sort of diverse and nuanced and interesting. And it's a stage where, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And just the fact that that's why I always, refer to Maria Bamford and stuff, that the fact that these apes are dictating the idea that, or presenting the idea that this is what we know what comedy is. It's like, you don't, you're all saying the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
There isn't a goddamn, all I know is like, there was clearly, and you said this before, that, all these things have an arc, but there was clearly a vulnerability because whatever happened, between Elephant Graveyard and me and Joe realizing that, he was on the hook, it's buckling a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's got to be a pleasure in
it just
that.
can't. I really just feel like it can't sustain. And if you look at the history of these things, people who are younger might not realize that, like, in like 1988, 89, it felt like Andrew Dice Clay owned comedy.
Yeah.
Like, he was Sam Kinison and Andrew Dice Clay were the bosses of comedy.
That's when I was a door guy. I remember it well.
But it didn't feel like it was going to stop.
Yeah.
It felt like this is the way it's going to be now.
Yeah.
And then it stopped. But now
it's different, which is why Howie was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think you're giving comics too much credit. They're not doing comedy.
Yeah, no,
they're not doing. They're yammering on about this and that, and now they're influencers.
Yeah,
and they're being then they're deciding that they're political spokesmen because the right has enabled them to create distraction and division. And they eat it. It's bait. How the fuck can you be a free thinker if you're all talking about the same three things?
I know. It's just that thing where it's like, trans, check.
Yeah.
Woke, check.
Yeah.
Like,
immigrants, done.
Check. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. And let me tell you about BetterHelp. It really feels like what's going to happen now is, right now, it's like the first part of 2001.
Yeah,
and we're waiting for the monolith to show up.
Oh,
so
God,
that these
waiting
apes,
for the monolith.
They're always just like, oh,
and
like one, they can touch it, so they can finally stop being apes and evolve.
Yeah,
but like, we're still in that part where the apes are just
jumping around.
They're just jumping around.
One guy found a thing to hit the other guy with.
Yeah.
And we're in that part.
Yeah. I think the monolith is
late.
Spotify. Like, the Spotify monolith comes down.
But here's my question, though, in terms of, like, also along with what we're doing, because I don't know that I talked to you really. I mean, we did a talk about the book, right?
Yeah.
And then, but we talked about you got married and everything else, and you left Jersey.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching The Sopranos, so I'm in deep Jersey right now.
Oh, yeah. It's
so good, right? I can't.
There's still lines on The Sopranos I think about that are like when Tony was sad, and then Paulie Walnuts is just like, he's like, Tone, you want me to send the kid to go get some Baja Fresh? Like, to try to cheer him up.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the most well-crafted, funniest line I've ever heard to have come out of this guy's mouth. You want me to send the kid to get some Baja? Like, he doesn't know Baja.
Like, I didn't realize until watching it this time, this is my third time through, I think, that, Paulie is, like, so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, he can't read, really. He can't, he dropped out of high school in ninth grade.
He's a little boy.
Yeah. And it's just like there's certain things that I'm noticing, and truly not unlike Breaking Bad. Like, I don't think I fully realized just how quickly the empathy for Tony went away. I mean, it's gone by the middle of season 2.
Yeah,
but you're still watching it.
He's a monster now, and it's just like it's such a tricky thing. It's just like you're rooting for him, but are you rooting for him? No, I don't know.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I want to talk about, because this is like my concern, is that, now that, sort of mainstream show business in terms of having a big public reach for interesting things, both on television and in movies, and that most of the people are getting their entertainment from YouTube or podcasts, that I think what's happening, and it goes in line with this sort of anti-elite, anti-intellectual, anti-education, anti-science thing, is that just by virtue of people adapting to what's readily available, that the bar is being lowered probably permanently. That people will no longer be able to realize what is brilliant and amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, people are definitely getting rewired now to like the way people what they can handle. It's like shockingly low. Where it's just like, I'm not reading that.
Yeah.
I mean, one long paragraph.
Yeah,
like you see online, somebody puts a thing up as a paragraph. I'm not reading that. It's like, what? You can't take 40 seconds to read this thing? And like when the Elephant Graveyard one, like I look at the comments, people just, I'm not watching an hour and a half. It's like, first of all, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's like, and it was boring.
Yeah.
I thought it was boring. It's like, how boring? Like, what do you need? What's the stimulus in you?
But those are boring people saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to Heidegger, and that was the interesting takeaway was that, you know, most of this stuff is boring as fuck.
Yeah.
It's just like it goes nowhere. And the people that are like, fuck that, it's like they're, you know, and they're the people that are dictating culture, the most boring people in the world that don't even have, you know, the sort of willingness or basic open-mindedness to take in something interesting because it's too threatening to them.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that all the major entertainment companies are trying to appropriate.
Yeah. It's like, well, we don't want to turn them off to this thing. It's just like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, let's force them to
to
evolve or go away.
Yeah, go back to wherever they came from on some level.
It's just this weird place where the dummies are in charge, and it's like, we don't want to rock the boat
on all levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whatever, you know, like, again, I've said my piece. Maybe I should say more of it. Like, yeah, there's people that are hanging this sort of like Carlin-like expectations on my philosophical point of view, but I'm like, that's going to take a lot of work to keep churning that out.
Yeah, and you can't. The thing is, like, he got to such a dark place that it just like, I never saw you as being anywhere near that. Like, that's just like, you're not a nihilist.
No, I have a couple lines. I wish I was more of a nihilist, but I like animals too
easier.
much. Yeah, it would definitely be easier.
Yeah.
I'm close. I ride the edge.
Well, you see it, and it's just like, it's like, I can't live there.
No.
I can visit.
Yeah.
But I can't stay there.
I like people too much.
Yeah.
But when you went to video, were you apprehensive?
Oh, yeah, I still am. I still am. I don't know if I'll ever be truly comfortable with it. It's the pandemic changed podcasting with all this video
changed everything. Everyone should get the fuck off Zoom. You know, the plague is over. Put your pants on and go talk to people.
Go get in your car and go get a bottle of water and sit across from somebody.
Where it smells different. You can see them and
where you
feel
can actually,
the vibe.
Yeah, when you can actually feel the room they're in.
Yeah.
Not just like,
what's that on the shelf?
That's exactly. It's like, oh, well, they got to.
I love those people that put their own books on the shelf.
Oh my! And you can, when you feel how much thought goes into like their shot, and they're just like, if I put this painting on it'll show that I'm
It makes you appreciate the public access nature of people that don't really fucking fuck with their room when animals show up or kids.
Yeah. The video thing is just a part of what it's like in 2025 to be doing this, and it's just like, I'll always prefer just the audio part of it. That was what I fell in love with as a kid, was radio.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what DJs looked like. But I didn't know what like the first time I saw that like DJs are basically in a phone booth. Yeah. Like they're here with two turntables and carts, and they're just, but they're just like they can't even move.
Yeah.
But like when you're listening to it, you think it's this huge.
And they're amazingly large personality people.
Yeah.
I told a story about Bobby Box, the KQEO AM was a station that I was on in junior high, playing hits, and Bobby Box was the guy. Bobby Box, spinning the hits, and he came to host a dance at our school, and he was like this, almost a dwarf, and he was wearing this plaid suit, and he had this horrible haircut, and everybody was like, That's him?
Oh, no. Yeah. I remember Jon Wurster is one of the funniest things. Like, he was obsessed with rock radio also, and one of the stations in Philadelphia changed formats, and it was trying to be like like new wave. And,
Yeah.
And he's listening and he hears this DJ on there and he's just like, hey, this is Mo Hawk. And I'm doing a thing. And John's just like, I think this is a guy just changed his name to Mo Hawk on the station. Like, same old guy.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
So he calls. He's like, hey, you Mo Hawk, are you with the other guy? He's like, yeah, I'm going to quit next week. They changed formats. I'm getting out of here.
Mohawk was the best he could come up with.
Yeah, just some old guy. I'm just trying to do radio. And he comes in, it's like, hey, we're changing formats. You better play some psychedelic furs. And he's just like, what is this stuff? He's just like, sure, I'm Mohawk.
But what is the business model now? Like, what are you doing over there? You doing all right?
With my show?
Yeah, but don't you have like spin-offs and everything?
Well, we do stuff for the Patreon, like bonus things for Patreon, and it's fun to do things.
I don't even know the Patreon world, so that's like, special stuff they pay for?
You just do extra stuff that's like, I always looked at it as like my show I will never charge for the show. I was never going to, like, people have floated things. It's like, well, what if the first half is free and the other half is behind a paywall? It's just like, I got into this for the thing to be available to anyone who ever wants to hear it.
Yeah.
100% for free.
Yeah.
And that was like a non-negotiable point for me. But things beyond that, it's like, well, if people want more, we can do more. It's like, but holy moly, you get 3 hours a week. For most people, that is probably enough.
It's plenty, yeah.
It's just you can get as much as you want, and you say you say when you're full.
But doesn't Julia have a show?
Yeah, we do a thing where we talk to people called Outgrown, and we just ask them about stuff when
Is that
kids.
A Patreon show?
Yeah, we do. But we put it's Patreon for a little bit, and then it's just on YouTube for everybody to hear. Like, it's like little windows of exclusivity.
How's that doing?
It's fun. It's just like it's nice to just to be with somebody who I actually respect from like an artistic standpoint is mind-blowingly exciting.
And you and Klausner still do the thing?
Yeah, we do a show together, Double Threat.
And that does good?
Yeah, it's all fine. It's all like, but again, it's like we were talking about. We have our people. They're into it. We try to uphold the quality to make them happy. We're not trying to just get everybody.
Yeah.
It's like at a point, everybody's doing a niche thing at a point, and you just know your lane.
Yeah.
And it's not like you don't want it to be redundant or boring, but you definitely. You don't have to keep cracking the thing open and trying to reinvent it. It's just like, no, this works. So we'll do this.
Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah, it's what you do. I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm disillusioned. I think I am just adapting to where we are, and I think on a certain level that can feel like disillusionment.
Yeah, I mean when things are so in flux, and uncertain, it feels like when you're just trying to say like, hey, I'm just talking about how it is right now, it's just like, well, why are you so negative? It's like, well, I didn't come up with where we're at. I'm reacting to it. This is a reaction to things. I'm not starting the discussion.
I know.
Yeah, it's hard. And it was like, for me to have done this show for 25 years, it's really it just is now. I don't even know what that it's like. I still really do like doing it. Yeah. And I just and I try to find new things that keep me engaged with it.
Like what now?
Just, trying to have different guests on and stuff, and like going out of my comfort zone a little bit with that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I had Adam Friedland on the other day. And I mean, that's somebody people are just like, why is he having this Cumtown guy on the show? Like,
really?
Yeah, because it's like that's out of the
that's the
out
old
of the bubble.
That's the old Adam, right?
I like it. I think he's very he was so. When I told him you said
what's his problem?
Ask him what his problem with me is. He was like legitimately. He's like, I love him. And I was like, Mark's cool with all this. Don't worry.
The fucking thing is like, I am a lot more out of the loop than most people know. So like, all I hear is like, they're talking shit about me over on Cumtown. I'm like, what the fuck is Cumtown?
I backed into that one in a way where I was just like, I heard the name and I was just like, well, I don't think that's going to be for me.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I think you can't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Because look, I think those guys are all funny. I think
Yeah.
Stavi is.
I love Stavi. I had him on, and
yeah.
then after I had him on, people were like, they were talking shit about you for a year or two, and I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, just like.
Yeah, but like, why not?
But that's what they were supposed to do. They're in their 20s,
Yeah, I know.
or early 30s. It's like,
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it anymore because I
just did it last month.
Yeah, you've been on a exactly. You're on a royal tear here.
Yeah.
I was just like, when we were doing that stuff, I'm just like, oh boy, I hope Mark still likes me. Hope my number's not coming up soon. Like, but it's just like you're supposed to throw rocks at the person who's a little older than you. It's just what. I've done it, and I just will probably do it forever. And I just like, but it's to some degree I'll do it forever. But it's just like they're just excited kids.
Yeah. The weird thing about throwing rocks, like this is the big hurdle for me in that whole thing was that this idea of like why you slagging other comics. Mm-hmm. And I had to deal with this years ago. It's like when somebody is part of the culture in a way that transcends comedy per se, they're a phenomenon of one kind or another. They're fair game.
Yeah,
they have to be.
Yeah,
it's not like why you shouldn't make fun of that comic just because he killed somebody.
But it's also not like it's comedy. It's not like you're like, boy, you really shouldn't go after the other people who knit this because it's like comedy's based on making fun of people blasting people. It's like that's what it is. It's knitting is a passive,
I made sure it was
non-confrontational thing. I thought comedy is confrontational.
Yeah, and I made sure it was all funny.
That literally last night I showed the Elephant Graveyard one of the Taking on Joe's special to somebody. Yeah. I was just like, because they were like
the Copes.
They were like, I don't know Elephant. I was like, oh my god, we need to watch it right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like this guy is like a surgeon.
Yeah, he is.
When he just does these things, and like I've like DM'd with him over on Patreon. I was just like, oh, I'm such a big fan, blah 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 blah, and. Then because he was getting like 10,000 views a video, like 10,000, 20,000 views. And then just the first one a year ago, the Rogan one, just 2 million views. So suddenly he popped. Yeah. And then it was like, and now he's like the guy. Yeah. But he just seems like he's just I don't know who he is.
Me neither. I've emailed with him.
Yeah, he keeps it deliberately vague, and he should. It's fine. So who cares who he is? Yeah. You know what I mean? His name's Glenn. Yeah. Okay, well, now we know. It's like when...
Glenn, what kind of name is that?
I remember when, like...
That's a cuck name.
When, when Kiss were just like, Kiss are going to take their makeup off now. And it's like, we're going to see what Kiss really look like. And then they just showed, they're just guys with faces. Yeah. It's like, what did we think was going to be under there?
I do remember it was a bit disappointing,
but it was just like there's no version of it where you'd be like, oh my god, that's who they are. It's like they're just guys.
I wish these guys would take their fucking masks off. Take the makeup off.
When he did that thing about about the 250 comedians, and he's saying it to Cat Williams, and Cat Williams is just looking at him like, I don't respect you. Like, Cat Williams could not have more contempt for him in that moment. He's just like, because, there's only like 250 of us, and we, who can really do this? Yeah. And Cat Williams is like, it's like, oh, so you're one of the 250? Like, this guy who just like is like Cat Williams is just like Godzilla in a way. Like he can just he's
actually one of the funniest guys alive.
That's what I mean. He can but when he's doing the thing, it's like no one can stop him.
He's great.
Oh my god, no, there are these people that there are only one of. There's one. It's like he's one of one. Yeah, and that's
it's
when he's
thing.
Gone. That's gone.
Yeah. The thing with like Adam Friedland and some of these guys is like, look, I'm an old man. I'm 2 generations away from them, and I think there are moments where I'm like, this guy is somehow like me.
Oh, watching his show. Yeah. He's just like, you're watching him like, not that he's figuring it out,
Yeah.
but he's in it
Yeah.
for the first time. Like, he's going into uncharted places
Interviewing.
for himself.
Yeah.
And you can watch it, like the Richie Torres
Yeah.
thing he did. Did you see that?
No.
Oh my God, it's like, because he's talking to this New York congressman,
Yeah.
and who's like a guy who's like a big APAC guy,
Yeah.
like just takes tons of money from APAC.
Yeah.
It's just like, and to see him, like Adam Freeland, he gets like so vulnerable with this guy and just talks about what it's like to be Jewish in America in 2025, and that I feel more people like Jews less because of situations that have not, like, he lays it out.
Yeah.
He's like, it hurts me to for my identity to have this conflict. It was the most sincere thing.
Yeah.
It's really pretty powerful.
Oh, good.
And seeing him do that, I was like, oh, this guy is like, he's ready to go somewhere with what he's doing.
Yeah, trying to get real.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just like, good for you. You're not just going to be
Yeah.
snarky and just do that.
Yeah,
You're
I think that
just fine.
whatever he had coming at me was just the snark.
It's like we've all worn that hat at a point. Like, now he's got the hat on. Like, you know, you've worn the hat. I wear the hat. Everybody wears the hat.
Yeah, yeah, and now you got to deal with the blowback.
Yeah, it's like, I would think now. I think I don't attack people on my show or goof on people on my show for no reason. Like, I would think I'm just selective about it
Yeah.
now. And I think that comes with maturity. You're
Sure.
just kind of like, you realize who the actual targets should be.
Well, there's certain people you have that vibe with. I do. You know,
But
anybody that can indulge my charming bully, I'll do it.
But there's just like a moment where I was just like, you know, Kevin Smith's not hurting anybody with these. He just makes movies I don't like.
Yeah.
Like, and I just finally like, I'm going to put that one down.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm going to set that
Oh,
sword
good.
down.
Right.
I'm just like, why am I fighting a guy who makes things why am I like turning him into like public enemy number one?
Yeah.
Just because he makes movies that I don't like.
Well, that's pretty mature.
Oh, well, I think I'm just running out of energy, honestly, Mark.
Well, yeah, I think it's really running out of fucks to give.
Kind of,
You
yeah.
know, that you gotta deepen the conversation at some point. Do you miss Jersey?
Not really. I went back a couple times, and it was kind of rough because the things changed so much. Like,
Sure.
in 5-6 years, just things were gone.
Yeah.
Favorite record store, gone.
Yeah.
I love going to that diner, gone. All
Really?
these the places that were like they were like the backbone of,
Yeah.
because the one thing I had in New Jersey that I still don't entirely have here is I knew where to go and what to do if I was like feeling like, if I was just in a bad place.
Yeah.
I knew where I could go to kind of get myself
Where's
out of
that?
it. I would either go to Princeton and
Yeah.
kind of walk around the town and the
Yeah.
campus, or I'd go down to like Asbury Park.
Yeah.
Just like, there's places I could go that I knew were just like, I'll go hang out there for a few hours.
Yeah.
It's good for me.
Yeah.
And I can kind of get my feet
Right.
back on the ground. I still don't have that
Yeah.
here yet. Like, I don't know where, like,
Well, that stuff's so deep in you.
yeah, well, that's the thing. Is like,
Yeah.
it was like, those are like neural pathways
Yeah,
that are
exactly.
just carved. I don't have those here. But going back, a lot of the things had changed, and it felt like we did a trip, me and my wife Julia, we drove from LA to New Jersey
Yeah.
in May. We drove like 3.5 weeks on the road. We just took our time, stopped at all different
To
places.
look for America?
Almost, yeah. We were looking for things that were going to be gone in 5 years. Like,
What'd you find?
Some places I thought were absolutely. I was like so impressed by like Utah, like
Sure.
stuff in Utah. First of all, Utah is so beautiful. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe how beautiful. Utah was.
I find Salt Lake City oddly comforting.
Yeah, I
I-
liked Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
I loved like just being in the middle of nowhere there. We
Yeah.
went in this like hot spring that was
Ah.
like in a crater. And
Yeah.
just like there was just so many like
Was it full of hippies?
unexpected. Yeah, it was a little bit of everybody. Like it was better. It was so much
People
better than I thought
actually
it was gonna be.
bathing in it.
Yeah, nobody was actually bathing. We
Yeah.
had a bar of soap
Yeah.
floating in. that was great. But then other things when we just like, we kind of went down, because I love Tennessee so much.
Beautiful.
And like Nashville, Memphis, those was my favorite cities.
It's great.
And
Nashville's changed a lot, but it's great.
yeah, it's like, well, Nashville, like seeing that part of like the downtown in Nashville, it's like 9:30 in the morning. We're just like walking around, and it's like 9:30 in the morning, and then like those pedal bikes go by where it's like 8
women,
drunk guys and women pedaling and pounding. It's like it's 9:30, guys. It's Thursday. 9:30 on a Thursday. You guys are hammered.
Yeah,
and every one of the bars along the main drag, they pull like the garage door thing. So, and there's music coming from everywhere. So it's really alive and it's exciting. But, yeah, it was just like we stayed at the Peabody in Memphis.
I had a big night at the Peabody. They still got the ducks.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to show Julia the ducks. And it was so much fun. Because they do this thing where the ducks live in the hotel. They walk them into the fountain in the middle of the lobby. And then there's like this guy, the duck master. He's the one who tells you about the history of the hotel. So I just wanted to say to him afterwards, like, hey, that was amazing, your presentation. You know, you're holding everyone's attention. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
And we're like waiting.
For the ducks?
We're waiting for this guy. He's talking to somebody else. And then there's a guy behind us, and he's wearing a T-shirt that just says Gulf of America. Yeah. And you're just like, can you turn it off for one?
Yeah.
Like, look, have your dumb fucking views.
Yeah.
I don't, like, what am I going to do about that?
Yeah.
But can you just like enjoy that you're somewhere nice right now? You have to like come into it ready to fight with your stupid billboard T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it was like stuff like that where you're just like, this is just like a cheap way to have an identity.
Yeah.
Like it's a cheap way to be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, and you're just boring. You're like, you clearly have nothing else to talk about. And this was like a ready-made.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. I think interesting is a diplomatic word. But
it was just like, it was and there was so much of that.
Affronting.
And I was just like, it started, look, we were away by that point, we're a couple of weeks away, and you start to get a little squirrely being on the road that much, and you're just like,
where else did you drive through?
We went Arizona up to Utah, Colorado, then all the way to Wisconsin, and then down south, and then kind of South Carolina, swoop up to New Jersey. And finally getting to New Jersey, it really had the feeling of after seeing all of these towns, when you're driving on highways and then you pull off and it's just like Chili's, Applebee's, that.
Yeah, Walmart.
And all these things. And I'm just like, well,
Buc-ee's.
Look at all Buc-ee's. Yeah, like looking at all these places. But then like I got to New Jersey and it was the same place. It was the same thing. I was like, oh my God, I lived in one of these.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, well, I don't live. Look at these saps with their strip malls and all things like that. And then like I saw New Jersey as like a tourist.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was literally no different than anywhere else we pulled off to just sleep at a Hampton Inn.
Yeah.
I was like, I lived in one of those spots for other people. It's probably the most obvious thing but it took me forever to realize.
Well, I mean, I imagine looking for the things that were going to be gone, that if you get off the interstate, there was this idea. I remember like AAA triptychs, but like all of those smaller towns are just probably decimated, really. I mean, all the places that were smaller cities and smaller towns that had their own sort of economies and personality just got drained out. Yeah. I mean, where do you even, where do you even pull off to go see?
There was a place in Wisconsin, House on the Rock. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah, I think Kit talks about it.
It's like one of the takeaways was that there were these maniacs in America who built huge, stupid things that no one asked them to do. Yeah. And they saw their vision through to the finish line. Yeah. Like House on the Rock with this guy in the rural Wisconsin, just on the side of a mountain. He's just like, oh, I want to build a cool house and like Frank Lloyd Wright told him, it's just like, I wouldn't hire you to design a doghouse. Like Frank Lloyd Wright thought the guy
a
sucked.
chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. So he builds this house in the side of a mountain. So you're touring it, and it's really impressive. And the guy's just like, in the 50s, he was like, well, if I could charge people to tour it, I'd need to have a little bit more for it, so to show them. So he builds this museum down on like at the bottom of the mountain. That is like, it's like, just imagine. Well, what's the museum have in it? Everything. You want to see a carousel? The world's biggest carousel you've ever seen? Here it is. Oh, and you're just like, oh my God, this carousel is amazing. Well, there's 2 more carousels. Like, it's like he didn't know when to stop with things. Well, you don't need 3. Like, you want to tell the guy, it's like, 1 carousel
that'll do
is
it.
better than 3 carousels.
Yeah.
You go like, well, what about a room full of organs and pianos? He's just like, yeah, I'll do that. It's a room. There's 300 organs and pianos. And it's like, you're touring through the things like, hey, you like dollhouses? It's like, well, here's 300 dollhouses. And you're just walking through, we were 3 hours, we were moving fast through it at a point where we're just like, we'll be here like, they'll lock us in.
But just that in and of itself is something.
It was 3 hours, and we're like hauling ass through this thing, and it was 3 hours. Yeah, and you're just like, this is like what you can do in America if you're a crazy person who doesn't take no for an answer.
Yeah,
and in its weird way, it's like that's kind of where I've lived in terms of just like I didn't get a job that was like with any stability or anybody giving me any sort of like guidance as a boss that this is what you do, and everything was just like, I'm on my own here with this. And I'm figuring it out, and if something's not working, then I don't eat now.
Right.
Like,
I know, I'm the same way, and I guess it is similar in spirit that that, and I think that I guess still holds up in some weird way. Mm-hmm. That here you can kind of do whatever you set your mind to. It might not work.
It might
fail, but you can certainly give it a go.
Absolutely, and the crazy thing is, like, we went to like was it Nebraska? I forget where it was. It was like there was this museum. This guy had the Warp. It's called the Warp family museum in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And he just collected. Like, you walk in, it's just like, oh, there's a Model T, and there's like the planes that didn't fly that people tried to like you see from the old footage. And it's every kind of car. It's every kind of everything. Suddenly it's like, here's cell phones throughout history. It's like a car phone from the 70s. Yeah. Like, it's just like, they go from being, there's a point, if you collect stuff, it's almost like that dip. It's like, the low point is you're an insane person with too much stuff. And if you just punch through, then you can be a museum owner. then you're just like, oh, it's valid. Right. People are like, stop collecting this stuff. What are you doing with all these microwave ovens from, like, what are you doing? Why are you collecting this stuff? And this guy just keeps going. He's like, hey, now I'm a museum owner. Yeah. Now
it's curated hoarding.
It really is hoarding masquerading as history.
Where are all your records, dude?
They're here. Still some in New Jersey. I gotta get them that squared away.
They're at the house?
Yeah, it's fine. It's like, I have so many records that it's just like.
Do you ever think about, like, I gotta get rid of them?
No. I can't. They're my friends. They tell me who I am. Like, when I...
Do you ever go through it and go like, oh, I forgot I was this guy?
Yeah, there's times where you're just like, wow, I really was trying to like that for a while.
I have 9 records.
I see it and I'm just like, if I was more confident, I would have one of them.
Yes.
But I was just like, I don't get it yet.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to keep chasing this thing.
I get them all at once. If you hear one song, I'm like, I got to know more about this guy. And then you have 9 of their records.
And then I start getting like, well, I need to listen to them in order.
Yeah.
I need to follow their artistic journey.
And still nothing.
Yeah, it's still just like, I don't get it. And then I'm just like, I think I'll just listen to Loaded again for the 9 billionth
Which bands
time.
do you not get?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who, like, that I don't get?
Well, I mean, because like I know, like I've gone back and forth with you on Destroyer, and I'm going to try
Yeah.
again soon.
Okay, yeah, look.
I talked to Nico Case, and by all indications, that guy, what's
Yeah.
his name?
Dan.
You talked to him?
Yeah, Dan Behar. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He's a thing.
Yes.
And I just can't lock in.
In a different era, he would be Neil Young or Bob Dylan. Like,
Okay.
if a different kind of music was popular,
Yeah.
he would be huge.
Yeah.
Because it just pours out of the guy.
The funny thing is when people like you like him, and there's certain people that I respect who like somebody, and I can't wrap my brain around it or get it. I end up resenting them. For no
I
reason.
understand that feeling too. So I resent everybody. It's like, what do you think? You're so good, you get it.
It's not you, but him. It's sort of like you're not getting through to me.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you think you're
You think you're all
so
that?
poor? Yeah.
Not
no,
to me.
I don't get it. No, I don't understand what you're doing. The one thing I wish
I'm a pretty smart guy.
Yeah. Like, I'm smart and I don't get it.
Yeah.
I really wish I could that like jazz that I could love it with all of my heart.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have like a pure both hands on it connection to jazz.
Well, you're lucky
the way
because
other
that's
people do.
another 10,000 records.
Well, I know that, and I just like as somebody who likes buying things,
Yeah,
I would just be like,
No,
why am I being denied this?
Yeah, you'd be in
thing?
trouble.
I could buy all this stuff,
never ending jazz hole.
and yeah, I just like I like it. I like what I listen to, and I like the right people with
Yeah.
it. But in terms of just like that thing where it's just like it's like
You get it.
healing me.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't get that deep
Yeah.
with it. But
I think I could, but like I think I have enough. Mm-hmm. And some of it, I kind of it. I think your brain has to lock into a meditative state with it. Like like you can sit there and listen to all the nuances, but like jazz kind of can just be, and it has an effect.
yeah,
Yeah.
And one of the things that I wish I could like prove, but I think so much of what made like John Coltrane work, like people, like you read accounts, like people would go see him at like the Village Underground and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were like, it was the loudest thing I had ever heard. Like the force of it
Right.
gets lost with time
Yeah,
and
yeah.
with that, oh, we only have this album of it.
Yeah.
But when people were in the club with it, it was like an assault on
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
Like we were only getting like a fraction of the power
Yeah.
of him.
Right. I think that's probably true with a lot of bands. I like, I've had recent kind of catharsis with Alice Coltrane.
Yeah.
I mean, I can listen to that stuff and be like, it's otherworldly.
No, I love Alice Coltrane. Did you go to that exhibit? There was an exhibit last year of just like her archives.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's something.
Really, like a real, isn't it amazing that there can be a John Coltrane
Yeah.
and then there's an Alice
Yeah.
Coltrane, and like that these forces of nature bond.
Yeah.
And like how is that even possible
I don't
for
know.
these things to be like you're like you're like a sun and you're a sun and
Yeah.
you're like you're the everything's orbiting around both of you, but you're like
together
you
somehow.
unite
Yeah.
somehow. It's like that's like earth changing.
Does that still happen?
You mean
Suns joining? I mean, would we know it?
I don't know if we'd know it. I think maybe time has to pass when you
Yeah.
also to realize what was actually happening.
I just I've gotten kind of interested in like the group theater, where it's like, it seems like during the 30s that there were these groups of intellectuals and artists that would all hang out together,
Yeah.
and they changed the course of understanding. Philosophers.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens anymore. Maybe it happens on
Sounds
Zoom.
like somebody needs to move to Austin.
You're right. I didn't think about it
I
like
just
that.
sit at the Algonquin Round Table down there at the mothership.
The mothership in the second green room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also feels like just people have had enough of that.
I
And
wonder,
it
yeah.
really just does feel like people are feeling like they have a voice to just go like, yeah, you know, and I'm tired. You guys had a good run, but I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
And
I was hoping that voice would be louder, and I think it's what compelled me to be part of it.
To be part of it, and then, well, that just gives people permission to join in on it.
I just wanted comics to relax, for Christ's sake.
Well, the thing is, it's just like none of this would be happening if they just said, well, my number one priority is to be funny.
Yeah.
None of this would happen.
Yeah.
Anytime comedy gets off target, it's because somebody's trying to be cool.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to be smart.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be funny. Like they've lost the mission statement.
Or you can try to do both.
But you have to major in being funny.
Yeah.
Like you can.
Yeah.
You can be cool.
Yeah.
It's like, look, Anthony Jeselnik, I think, is cool.
Yeah.
But he's there to be funny.
Yeah.
He's not there to be cool first, funny second.
Yeah.
Like. And that's the thing. It's like, how did they lose?
I don't know.
It was like, it's a very basic agreement.
Yeah, about funny.
Yeah, which is like, you're here to be funny.
I'm blessed with the ability to never think I'm cool. And then, you know, and then I try really hard, and I've failed a lot of times. But I think in the last special, I might have been a little cool.
Look, your journey is well documented. But you're the one documenting it. Like you're not hiding from.
No.
Like you were searching for a thing. When your thing clicked, it clicked.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's actually, I feel like people can look at these stories and realize you don't get to say when it clicks, but if you keep trying, maybe it will.
Maybe it will.
It will.
And you, sir, we're a big part of it.
Oh,
both on an inspirational level, on a guest level, on a friendship level. And I always appreciate seeing you and your input and hanging out like this.
No, it's been great to have you as a friend for as long as we've been friends. And it started in I can remember, because I would go see you with Laura Well, talked about this new Lounge.
Yeah.
But then like the moment it was at Yola Tango doing their Hanukkah shows at Maxwell's in Hoboken, I can literally picture by the payphone between dividing the restaurant and the club.
Yeah.
And
in the hallway there.
In the hallway.
Yeah.
And you were performing, and I'm finally like, Mark's here.
Yeah.
We're kind of circling each other now. Let's see what this is going to be. It's like, hey, how's it going? It's like, It was just like this, like, okay, yeah. And finally, it's like, I think I'm all right with that guy. Like, I came where it's like, okay, that went well. And then it just kind of grew from there. But there was that initial, like, kind of like sizing up, like, okay, yeah. What are you? Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's you, and I'm me, and I'm like, where are we going with this?
Yeah. I was probably just freaking out about performing at that fucking thing.
No, but really, it's, you know, the thing that I've always felt separated you from a lot of the stuff that I related to was you talked into microphones on the radio, and it just puts you in a whole different mindset for any of this.
Yeah. Like
there's you talk a different way after you log hours on the radio.
Yeah.
You just approach this differently.
Yeah.
And there's only a few people who came into this radio first.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I always had like an affinity and respect for that. That's like you put the hours in on Air America and all that stuff in the break room, and you were just grinding it out when no one was like asking for it necessarily, because nobody knew what these things were.
I know if we did break room now, I mean, they might even have an audience. Me and Cedar, but we should
that would be the greatest. If you two got, it should be like the Sunshine Boys.
We should do this.
You should do the Sunshine Boys. You and Sam Cedar. That would be that's the culmination of all of it. Marc Maron, Sam Cedar.
It's such a funny but real tension to him and I.
No, it's like, that's the whole thing. It is like, it seemed like he really didn't know what to do when you started to succeed. Like, this was not supposed to happen. It's like, this is like a glitch in the Matrix. Mark's getting popular? No. Like, why? Like, this isn't supposed to. He was supposed to go. I was supposed to go up, and he was supposed to go down.
It's made our dynamic kind of more funny.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like on the verge of crying somehow because he can't get the same, edge on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just, like he lost. It's like he lost the ability to like the knockout blow.
Yeah,
like he just can't.
Yeah.
It's just now you're just punching each other, but nobody ever loses the fight. You're just constantly punching each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but really, it has been like just getting to be a part of the thing, and I always looked at my thing as being like, I just want to be on the continuum with it. It's just like, I was influenced by 100 people before it. And if anybody took inspiration or whatever from what I did, that's the gift. Like when people are like, you stole that, it's like, well, I fucking stole stuff from people. Somebody could accuse me of stealing stuff from people before me. I was, you're just on the continuum.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good way to look at it.
That's everything I've ever asked for, is to get to be like, when you look at the timeline of all of it, I'm like a dot on the timeline.
We're on the continuum.
Yeah, and that's like
the funny thing about me is that I did not. Like in doing radio, I had no heroes. I did not, I did, and I don't really listen to much now. Obviously, we have comedy heroes, but for me on these mics, it was all it's better because I didn't know how to do it, and you don't know why you're compelling on these mics. There were things I learned along the way, but it was not based on anybody. I never listened to Stern.
Yeah,
I never listened to. Ira that much, or Ira's hero. What's that guy's name? Joe Frank or
Joe Frank.
Yeah, I didn't really listen. I didn't have a source.
Yeah,
and I think it helped me.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I did listen to Howard Stern when I was in high school, and it just was it was an influence at a point. But as soon as he got when he leveled up, I immediately lost interest in it. Like I liked him as this underdog who was like, why doesn't people respect me? Why don't that's the stuff I ate up. But then as soon as he was like, oh, he is number one, I was just like, well, this does not fit what I want from anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear winners talk about winning.
Yeah.
I don't care I want to hear somebody talk about the struggle.
I think the thing I learned from you, and also oddly Rush Limbaugh, who I'd listen to in bits and pieces when people told me about the idea of holding silence.
That's,
And that that was the biggest lesson I learned.
That was, I can even tell you where I was influenced by that. It's funny because that actually is one of the things that scares people the most. When I'll just be telling something and then I'm not scared of that moment.
Right.
And you realize it's actually your friend.
Yeah.
Because you're in control of the thing now.
Yeah.
It was Dave Eggers wrote in that memoir he did, Heartbreaking.
Something.
He just talked about, I think, and I only read it once, so how his father, and I'm probably getting it really wrong, just encouraged to get the uhs and the ums and the likes out of your vocabulary. It's just slow down. Rather than go,
Yeah.
just be quiet for a second. It's the same thing, but it sounds a lot better.
Caesar's great at the uhs. He's a big
Well, when you do the what you're doing is you're not allowing the other person to talk. You're saying I'm still going. I'm still going.
Yeah. I do. Yes. And
I hear myself go, when I probably did it 12 times.
I know, I do it too.
You're talking, then go,
Yeah.
Just so I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just I'm supporting
That's what
you.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still not great at that stuff. I go up and down with it, but knowing that you do hold the space, especially with somebody else, it's a big deal. And I'm not great at it, but I can do it.
Yeah, and that's you just grow into it, and it's just you're not scared of the stuff.
Yeah.
And, do you think you're going to miss? What part of this do you think you'll miss?
Well, just before you came over, I was like, this is not a good day. And my fear is that's going to be a lot of days, and there's not anyone coming over.
Yeah. So, hey guys, it's the new WTF. We're back. Brendan's not here, but I wanted to meet Keith, my new guy.
I just don't think I could do it. I think but most of that is ego. That, it's really come down to, who else can we talk to? And obviously you can keep talking. And I imagine I could keep talking in some form or another. And a month or so ago, I was more sort of like, I'll probably show up somewhere just for the people can hear me talk. And that's starting to fade a little bit, but I don't really know. I mean, what I'll miss is that excitement and dread and, anxiety of, meeting new people, coming over and locking into this, because it does get me out of myself, and it does, kind of provide me a social life, but everything that all my experience with this thing are these conversations, because after I do it, it's out of my hands.
Yeah.
So it's all very kind of real life shit for me. And that's going to be a big change. I mean, even, now that we only have a few slots left and we don't have to do a backlog, I've had a lot of free time in the last couple of weeks. And I'm like, I'm watching The Sopranos again, and I'm eating, and I'm practicing guitar, and I'm sort of like, is this it? Is this it? But I spent half my life like that.
But that's exactly, and also there's a certain creativity in you, an energy for that. And you do have not the luxury, you've earned it. There are multiple places you can put that.
Yeah, I think so. I'm curious to see what that is and where that goes.
I think that's exciting.
I'll probably end up over there with you at Forever Dog. Just like Maron's come in, I think, this week. He doesn't really have a plan.
Yeah, Maron's got the studio from 4 to 7.
But he doesn't know what he's doing there.
He doesn't even have the lights on.
He's waiting for something to happen.
He's sitting in there in the dark. He's pretending. He's doing an interview, but there's nobody else in there.
We're just going to let him do it because no one had it booked.
Man, he thinks he's talking to...
he said Brad Pitt was coming.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah. He's not Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I hope I don't become that guy.
No,
it's just going to be a battle against whatever my brain does alone, which has always been difficult. But maybe, it's time to sit in it after all I've done.
Yeah. Now, one other final thing is, like, I feel like for some people, the introduction of podcasting into the comedy world has been hugely bad for their, like, it has diminished the idea of, like, the value of what you say.
And also of anonymity, of like surprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know everybody too well.
Yeah.
And the idea, it used to be every 2 years, here's 1 hour of me talking every 2 years.
Yeah.
And suddenly now it's like,
it never shuts up.
In 1 week, here's 10 hours of me talking.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, the value of talking for that person is just, it's just plummeted.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think not podcasting is going to do for you as a stand-up?
Yeah,
you think
I don't know.
Change that?
Well, my fear is that, like, will I still, have the crowd? Will I still have the audience? But, I can stay engaged with Instagram to a certain degree. But I don't know, man, because a lot of times in the beginning of the show, like, I'm just improvising and things come up and they end up things I work on in my stand-up. And there was an evolution of material that happened in those intros. So I don't know. I'm going to have to stay engaged with you and Lipsite and Jerry. Like, I do need an audience. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it'll be like it used to be, where, I have to nervously go on stage with stuff that I thought of over the last week and just, find the balls to get it out there.
I think something good will come out of it.
Well, good.
And the other thing is, you just do a different thing. If you really miss this, there's different forms it can take.
Yeah, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'll let you know if I'm not.
No, I'm sure I'll know before you say you're really. Yeah, Mark let me know he's not doing well. It's like,
he's going to be on the show again. Just be nice to him.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be showing up on your show once or twice a month.
Hey, man.
What's up?
It's like,
let's just talk about some shit.
Yeah, we're kind of busy this week, Mark. No. Oh, no, fine.
Yeah. Mark's been waiting outside in his car for 2 hours.
Yeah, he's calling in now.
I can do characters like John.
Yeah, hey, we got Mark from Los Angeles. What do you got?
All right, buddy. Well, I love you, man.
I love you too, and this is great. And thank you you've always been very generous with the platform, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Now that's it. That's the last word from either of us.
Yes.
Yes, me and Tom. Last talk on this show. Touching. It's all heavy. Again, the Best Show 25th anniversary shows are coming to Brooklyn, Philly, Chicago, and LA in October. Go to thebestshow.net for dates and tickets. Hang out for a minute, folks. People, 10 years ago this week, I had a long chat with the very funny Fred Armisen. It's episode 636, and it's available for free on whatever podcast app you're using. Just search WTF Fred Armisen.
They bring me into audition, and I went to, at UCB, went up and did my...
The original UCB with the weird seats?
Yes.
But you walked in and you kind of had to walk by the stage? Like when you walked in,
yes.
The stage was on the right and you had to make...
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay. So who else is on the night? So this is where your audition is going to be.
Yeah, and everyone else who auditioned was groups, like improv groups.
Interesting.
And then I went up and I did that. And then a while later, maybe a month later, 2 months later, they asked me to come back and do it at the studio.
Oh, right. Camera audition.
They flew me to, and I was already like in heaven. I was like, I can't believe this is happening.
It was just for Marcy at UCB or Lauren came?
Oh, Lauren came. Tina Fey came too.
Mm-hmm. She was the head writer?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, what was she was head writer. There was a couple head writers, I think, at the time. And then when I met Lauren, I was like, you knew George Harrison.
You said that to him at UCB?
Yeah. Like you, and then I asked him, and then this is a very typical Lauren thing to say, but I was like, just this conversation, like, so are you seeing a lot of people, meaning, auditioners? Mm-hmm. And he answered, no. Which is a very honest, like, you would think the answer would be like, oh, yeah. But he was very like, no, we are not. So
when you said you knew George Harrison, you sort of approached him with an intensity and a sort of left field question because it was what was compelling to you. How did he respond to that?
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine someone who knew George Harrison?
That's episode 636 with Fred Armisen, available now for free wherever you're listening to this show. And a reminder before we go, this podcast is hosted by Acast. Here's a little George Jones without the singing. Boomer lives. Monkey and LaFonda. Cat angels everywhere.